Hi guys, Ryu here. In this part we're gonna model some details on the receiver and the barrel, the front one. So what we're gonna do is select these two, Shift D, cancel with right click, M, new collection, receiver, actually new receiver, and put them there. Turn off the rifle, so we got only those two left. Select this one and apply all the booleans, right? Now we're gonna go to face mode, grab this face here, this one, and go to front mode and E, X, and extrude it up to here, okay? Now delete this, we don't need it. Now let's go here, select these two edges. So select this one with Alt, and this one is Shift Alt, and dissolve them. Go to edge mode, grab this one with Alt, and Control B, and let's make it thicker. Select both faces, go to front view, and let me think. We could actually extrude it. So E, cancel, S, Z, and extrude it this way. It's gonna be easier to cut it. So let's grab a cube, right? So let's grab a cube, and let's bring it in here and rotate it so it actually fits this this angle perfect, and just cut this tip in here like that, okay? So we don't have to align it. And now let's grab this cube and shift it up to here, and we're gonna align these. So let's grab this edge, right, the top one, and align it. So GX and align it here, and this one GX and align it here. So should work. Now to make sure that it's completely straight, we can actually run mirror tools, okay? So let's go to N, and let's grab mirror tools and C stretch and curve and straighten up, and go to the other side and select these. So go to back view and curve stretch and straighten up. Perfect. Now we are sure that these are, you know, straight lines and they're nicely aligned. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna save it. And now we're gonna learn some booleans. So let's grab these two and press M and make a new collection and new cutters. So we're gonna have new cutters there so we're not confused, and turn it off. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Shift 5. Okay, so now let's grab another cube and let's actually bring this gun back for a sec. So because I want to see something. So let's bring this gun back for a sec. Right, so this one, actually let's put it in the receiver part, okay? New receiver. So let's think. We could create it from here all the way down to here, maybe even. So let's extend it. GX up to here, yeah, that would do. Alright, that will do. So let's hide the gun, and now we can actually cut it in, but before we do that we're gonna actually make it narrower, so SY. And now let's think, before we cut anything, let's cut the cutter. So let's grab another cube and align it, move it in here and cut this, right? Whoops, Control minus. And then let's move this cutter here with Shift D, and let's cut this. Perfect. Now let's apply the booleans. Okay, and hide these two new cutters, right? So now we have a few choices, okay? What we can do is either cut a hole in the mesh through it, or actually what we could do is do something different. So grab these two faces. Right. In fact, you know what? Before we do that, let's apply this boolean here. So now we can grab these faces, okay? And before we grab these faces, let's actually connect them here. Because you see, the thing is that if I connect them together, these edges, this face and this face is gonna be exactly at the same sort of level, right? More or less. Well, not really, because I'll need to connect this, but in fact let's do this. Let's run an edge from here. So K, C, run it here, okay, press Z, click, and should cut through. There you go. So now what we have, right, I don't know what this edge is doing here, so let's join it. This one, and there's a face inside? No, good. So this face and this face, they actually on the same level, right? So we're gonna inset them like this. So press I and inset them. And before we do that, let's actually apply the scale. Let's try it again. So inset them. There you go, that's better. And we got some pulley in here, which means we have double geo. There we go, it's the vert. You know what, let's clean it. Just press 3 and this should clean the geo. So let's do it again. Select this and this. And let's now inset them. Okay, and delete them. All right, faces, right? Now what we're gonna do, go to edge mode, with Alt select this edge, Shift Alt select this edge, right click, and let's try to bridge them. Let's see if it's gonna go. Bridge. Did it work? No, it didn't. At least not the way I want it to work. Fine. It didn't work. Okay, so let's do it manually. Let's select these two verts and these two verts and press face, and select these two and these two and press F, these two and these two and press F, and these two and these two and press F. And now we should have like a hollow sort of opening in here, right? Yeah, it worked, right? It did. Okay, perfect. So now we get this opening inside, right? Inside of the mesh. Good. So now if we cut it through, right? Let me see. Yeah, see, we're gonna have this opening here in the middle, which is kind of cool. I like it. It's kind of like a middle of this barrel. But before we do anything with this cutter, let's select these edges inside. It's a little bit difficult to see, but you could actually turn off this these edges, right? And then we're gonna bevel them like this. So Control B and scroll. You know what? Wait. These edges here are bad news, okay? So what we're gonna do is first mirror it. So let me explain you later why, but first let's mirror it and I'll show you. So we need to mirror it on y-axis and flip it on its own axis, and then go above boolean and mirror it. And now we're gonna get this edge in the middle, but that will allow us, okay, to remove these edges by combining these faces. Simply put, these edges, diagonal edges going into corners, are a very bad idea when you try to bevel the corners, okay? So we need to remove them like this. And now we're gonna select these edges one more time. So let's see, this one, and this one. Okay, so let's now see, we can actually fix this properly. So Control B, and there you go. See, now it's there's like a line here in the corner. Now it doesn't exist, so you can actually bevel deeper, and that's why we did that, because we want to create like a round interior in here. So this will look peachy. Nice, I like it. Okay, now let's go back to our rifle, right? So in the main view, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove these to junk. Okay, so move this one to junk and this one to junk. So we are left with this new piece that we just carved out. Now this part in the middle is a little bit too big, and I think we will need to actually do it slightly differently, but we can actually cut this one, or we could simply cut openings in the mesh. So instead of actually cutting this way, so we could remove the boolean, we could use this one as a guide where it is the cut inside. So let's create a cube, and let's make it smaller, and let's align it with this edge here, like that. And you know what, actually no, maybe we could just slice it this way. So let's make it a little bit longer, copy it, make it larger, align this one with the edge, and then let's slice this cube from this side and shift D from this side. There we go. And then let's apply the booleans, make it smaller, and let's see, make it smaller. Yeah, make it smaller yet. Make it smaller and maybe put it somewhere here. Right, and then just simply cut it like this. Okay. And we can, of course, slightly bevel these edges so they're not gonna be so rough. So maybe slightly fewer segments, and this will do. All right. And actually, before we do that, let's apply the scale, not rotation, scale. There we go. And let's try this again. That's better. All right, perfect. Let's grab these cutters and move them outside to new cutters, and this one too. New cutters, and let's just hide them so we're not getting confused here. This one can actually stay. So we need some cuts in here, you know, but I would like some larger cut in here. So I will actually go ahead and cut this like that. And then what I will do is add another cube, right, over here, like this. And maybe scale it down so it's not so huge. It can be actually quite narrow, this one, it's okay. And in fact, I'm going to scale it on Y and then duplicate it, rotate it with Control, scale it up, move it in here and cut this one, because I really want to maintain these angles, right? So we can move it to new cutters, and this one will cut this cut. There we go. So now we can hide this one as well. So hide it to new cutters. What I want to build is something inside. So let's grab this cylinder, increase the number of verts to 50, rotate it with Control, and scale it down, and make it longer, and scale it down even more. It needs to be inside, okay? It cannot be outside, so it needs to be inside. So let's move it up a little bit and scale it on X. On X, there we go. And move it towards the front of the gun. That's it, right? Something like this. And we can actually auto smooth and shade smooth here. Grab this, let's grab this up, and what we can do now, select this one, go to top view, go to X-ray, select this pipe, grab a cube and make it smaller, go somewhere here, make it longer, apply scale to it, and select these two edges and Control B them to a chamfer, okay? And now what we're gonna do is we're going to select the cube and this one, and we're gonna slice it like this, but not too deep. That's way too deep, okay? We want it to be a little bit more shallow, like this, maybe. Let me see this. I need to see this, how it's looking. Yeah, that's okay, actually. That's okay. Let's actually mirror it across itself. So on y-axis, right? And we need to add some loops here. So where is this cutter? Let me bring this cutter with it. So the cutter and this one. And what we need to do is actually apply some loops here, okay, guys? So it's important. So one loop is gonna be in here. One loop's gonna be in here. Where is it? There you go. And now we can actually bring them in. So move them inside, and we need two more. So one here and one here to secure these cuts, okay? Because that's a round shape, so it might get ugly at some point. And we're gonna actually move it a little bit to the front, but together with the cutter, okay? Or in fact, we can move just the cutter. So, no, we can't move the cutter because the loops will not move. So we need to move it just a little bit to the front. Maybe this cutter is too deep. Maybe it's too deep. Maybe I'm gonna make it shallower. So let's grab this face, right? And actually these two faces, okay? And let's move them on x-axis inside here, so it's closer, okay, like this. Which, by the way, means that we need to move these loops. So I need another loop in here somewhere, and this one needs to be much closer. GG. Whoops. Come on, GG, and move it closer. And this one is redundant, so we can remove it. Oh, come on. There we go. And dissolve. Okay. Now we can play with it later. But what I also don't like is this abrupt edge in here. So once we're done, we can fix this. And now we can create some more cuts in here. So we're working with this, right? Correct. So we can apply the boolean to this cutter, right? Perfect. And now we can actually cut the cutter. So cutter is like this, you see. So we can insert two loops in here, which will not be easy, but we can do it with a knife like this. And then what we can do is insert a loop in here and split it, and split these two with B. And now we can grab this face and move it up. So GZ and move it up. Okay. We will need to align it though with the cuts. So GX and move it just a little bit like this. Let's see what we're getting. Yeah, this is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. Okay. And we could actually slice this one too. So let's grab a cube and let's make it smaller. Grab it here, make it narrower, slant it. It's the same thing all over. And then we got the cut going on, so we can actually cut it. Whoops, that didn't do what I wanted to do. Hang on a second. Let me see. Yeah, that should work. Hang on. Let's apply scale first, and then let's select this and control minus. There we go. And then we can actually apply rotation and apply array that will work. Not here. Array on this one only. Okay. So apply array to the other side. So this way. And few iterations here. So this will do, right? And hide it. Okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I'm not sure about this one though. I might actually move it somewhere. So let's Alt H and Shift 5 to unhide this cutter, and we can actually play with it a little bit. We could put it higher on the same line as as this one, right? So we could just simply literally almost align it with this cutter, and then move it on x-axis and simply array it again, but maybe 3 times, and move it somewhere here. So that looks pretty cool. I like it. Okay, so now we can clean all the cutters. So Shift 5 to clean them, and grab these cutters and put them to new cutters, and this one as well. So grab this one and new cutter. All right. So we got something like this so far, which is looking pretty cool. And let's save it, power save, and we're good. So we are looking pretty nice. I like it. I'm not too keen about this sharp edge in here, but we can fix it later. You know, we can make it a little bit more round, or you know what we could do? Actually connect it in here. That's what I'm thinking. I think it would be more logical, you know. We're gonna do it now. So Shift 5, because it's gonna be easy to do it now. Let's grab this cutter, so this one, right? Now let's grab one of these boxes. So this one will probably do. And this is that cutter because they are applied, but Shift D nonetheless. And let's scale it like this, okay? And let's scale it even more. Where is it? Let's scale it on X and scale it on X. And let's put it somewhere here, okay? And we can now cut this, Control minus, you see? And we're gonna get something like this. So how did it work? Yeah, this is much better because you get this, we don't get this nasty corner, which is kind of makes no sense. So let's hide the cutters, Shift 5. Now let's see. Yeah, that's much better. You see, that's much better. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm simply gonna round it up and make it a bit more civil. So we can actually apply the booleans, right? And grab it to local view. First of all, we're gonna run a cut across all these here, okay? Like this, straight one. So press C and then Z, click and then enter, and it should cut across, okay? All the mesh. Another line we're gonna have to run is here, but you need to be precise, okay? Make sure you run it in the middle of these cuts. So C, right? And run it all the way up to here. And then Z, click and enter, okay? And check if it's going across. Perfect. So now what we're gonna do is remove all these disastrous lines, because this is gonna be just bad news. All these angled lines, they gotta go. In fact, this one, we don't need it either, you know, this one here, right? Dissolve, oh, wait, something got dissolved that shouldn't be dissolved. We can remove this one, and whoops, and this one, and this one, and this one. Okay, and this one. And these two. And we should theoretically clean up the inside, because when we're gonna introduce a bevel, okay, things gonna get messed up from inside. So, and by inside I mean, see those lines inside here? These ones, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to vert mode, go to occlude, grab a B for box select all these verts here and press H. This will hide them in edit mode. Now we can turn off the occlude and remove all this junk from inside, and then we're simply gonna mirror it to the other side. See, all these, they gotta go, because this is all gonna create a mess with our bevels, and we don't really like mess with bevels. It's all bad news, guys. Mess with bevels. All right, I think it looks clean now. See, all these lines go perpendicular to our mesh. Now you can simply go Alt H, because you need to do it in edit mode. Alt H to unhide it, and everything is peachy. Now I don't think we need this edge here, but I might be mistaken. No, we don't. Okay, and now we can actually mirror to the other side, right? So mirror it to the other side, and we can remove the middle edge because we don't need it. Perfect. Now let's save it, because that's actually a decently formed mesh. Now what we can do now is select these edges right here, all these, right, and create like a bevel. So Control B and create a bevel. Don't go too crazy, because you'll be catching these lines here. It doesn't have to be crazy, it has to just be a bit roundish, okay? So it's not so vulgar and angular. We're just gonna break this angular feel of the gun with tiny bevels, you see. So that's what we are doing. And grab all these. And this one. It's a little bit difficult to select them, I know, but at the end it's going to be worth it. And select all these. We can do it methodically. So select first these ones. And then we can rotate the camera. And select these ones. Okay. And then go to top view and select these. Holding shift, by the way, all the time, yeah? Otherwise you will deselect the other ones. And then rotate it and select these ones. I think we got all of them. So go to side view and orthographic so you can see all of them changing at the same time. Now let's see that. I think we're good, but we got some pulling. Ah, blimey. We didn't remove these. Okay, we gotta remove these. You see how they pull? It's just, you know, nasty. So I'm not sure why these were not removed. That's kind of weird. All right, so I think we should be good now. So let's try to select it with a little trick. So Shift G and direction. And let's see, all of them are gonna get selected. Okay, well, we gotta do it manually again. So I see you in 2 hours after I select it, but let's do it again. That's why you see when I said that we need to get rid of all these edges that fall into corners. I wasn't actually joking. I was serious that they're gonna cause a massive problem when you're gonna try to bevel these things. So select these and then go down. Select these ones. Let's actually hide this window so we can see more. Not this one, this one. Okay, and this one, and this one, and this one, and then select these. I wish there was an intelligent way of selecting them, as in some intelligent command that you can tell Blender which ones you think it should select. That would be just genius. Imagine a software linked to your brain. Wow, that would be savage. Okay, so side view, and let's try again, and let's pray everything is fine, because really I'm gonna die doing these, selecting these. So don't go too crazy on number of segments. This many will do, and I think we're fine. Before you commit, you bloody make sure that everything is fine, because once you bake it, it's gonna be tough to get it back. All right, so I think we're good. You see, it breaks this kind of like a sharpness, this kind of like a harshness of edges. It looks a bit more machined, if you will. So let's grab a mirror and flap, and mirror it to the other side, and just apply it, because why not? It's fine. And now we're gonna actually apply a bevel and remove clumping, and just tiny one like that. 3 segments. This bevel is too big, by the way. An angle, just make it like maybe 0.02, something like that. That's fine. And we got some. Do we have some problem? No, it's perfect. It's perfect. And we can add weighted normals, but we can do it at the end as well. So let's see how it looks on a gun. So let's get out of the local view, and yeah, we're looking good. You see these rounded edges, they soften up this angular gun, and it just breaks this monotony of angular shapes. But at the same time, angles agreeing with our motif, of these slashes. But you get this break, so it's really cool. I like it. This thing could be a little bit taller, so a bit higher. So GZ, move it up, and actually Is it still running bulls on it? It does. Let's apply it. And let's make it a little bit bigger. A bit bigger. But we don't want this thing to cut through, so we can't make it bigger because it cuts through, doesn't it? Yeah. Alright, fine. We're gonna think about it later. So let's leave it be. Let's leave it be. Okay. We will need to think how to solve this, you know, a front of our gun. Okay, guys, so this would be a slightly more refined blockout of the mid-detail of the receiver. And now we're gonna move on to this part, I think, and then we're gonna tackle the magazine and this rest, and then move to the scope, and then we'll think how to sort out the legs, because this will be interesting. I'm thinking whether we should leave it here or move it somewhere else. I don't know yet. I'll have to think about it. Anyway, thanks for watching, and catch you in the next video.